Hi guys. Okay, it's been a while. So sorry. I've had some eye issues. You don't want to hear all about that, but I've had to take some time off. I couldn't edit or use computers or anything like that. So I've had a little over a month off, but all good now. I'm back to it. Now, I have been crafting in the meantime. I just couldn't edit or anything like that. So the cooking journal is almost finished. I just need to do the cover today, which is what we'll do. But I will show you what I've done off camera. Okay, so I did put one of these brads with a little ring on it, on the spine, because I wanted to put a dangle on the spine. Now, this was the picture, or this is the picture that I will put on the front with some fabric. And this lady, she's got a little jug there. And when I was looking for some beads for the dangle, I found I had this little jug charm, which I've had forever, but it's quite heavy. I thought I might pop that on because I didn't really have anything cooking themed. So I've made a very simple dangle because I'm too blind to do the jump rings at the moment. Well, all the time, but especially at the moment. So, you know, this has got a bit of orangish in it. So I've put these beads, very simple, lobster clasp, couple of beads. Now my loops are not that great. You'll see they look a little squished, I think, but that'll have to do because yeah, just too blind at the moment. Probably bead caps. Probably could wind the loops down a little. The bead caps maybe a little loose, but all good. Anyway, so this is the dangle. Which I won't clip it on now because I'm working in the journal, but that'll go there. Hope you can see my camera is probably trying to zoom in. So I'll leave that off for now. Very simple. I don't think it needs too much on the spine anyway. I think simple would be better. Okay, what else have I done? Get on with it. Look, I'm blabbing already. I've taken most of the ephemera out while I was putting the signatures in. So this is without most of the ephemera, so I have to put that in still. I did put the signatures into the spine. Now, I did that off camera. It is hidden stitching, so you won't see it on the spine exposed there. But look, I do mine. There's a million videos on it. When I sew my signatures in and then glue it into the spine, I kind of put this between my knees to keep it flat, like that way. So it's kind of hard to film anyway. But look, I didn't bother filming it. If you want to see my process, it's a little bit like Kirsten at Penny Rose Journals. If you head over to her channel, she always films sewing the signatures in and all that sort of stuff. So all I've done is you'll see the same fabric is on the inner spine as is on the cover. I've used the same fabric, and the only thing I've probably done different to the way Kirsten does is I have glued the signature block onto the inner side of the spine because this is a really heavy journal. So that's the only thing different, but the process is kind of the same. I don't make templates or anything like that, you know, to punch the holes. I kind of just do this very similar to what Kirsten does. A few little differences, but kind of the same process. So if you want to see how the signature block is put in or sewn in, pop over to Kirsten's channel. She's got plenty of videos there. I'll put the link in the comments box below. I've done a 5-hole pamphlet stitch because it is quite a heavy journal and it's quite big. I only usually use a 3-hole if it's a smaller journal or a lighter journal. I'll use a 5-hole if it's a bigger journal or heavy. What else? I put some paper on the inside, front and back covers, and I've put some pockets in. This paper, you'll see it's foreign language, and it's just from this book, which I believe was from Belarus. I may be wrong, but it was somewhere around there, or it could have been Lithuania. One of those two, I can't recall. It's 1946. It's an electronics magazine. It's a beautiful aged colour. The paper's really nice, but quite delicate. And I just love the font. It looks like it's, typed on a typewriter, but in another language. Just gorgeous, gorgeous papers. I've been hoarding this for a little while now, but time to start using up my stuff. So I've just put one of those pages on the inner cover, and I don't care if it's about electronics because you can't understand it anyway unless you can read Lithuanian or whatever language it was. I just think it looks really nice and vintagey. And I've also put some wallpaper pockets. These were just little offcuts. I was off for that month. I needed something to do. Even if you don't see videos from me, I'm usually still crafting. Even when my eyes are really bad. So I still craft almost every day because I need to be doing something. I covered some Reader's Digest covers in wallpaper while I was sitting around feeling sorry for myself. And these were some little offcuts. I don't know if you can tell. They're kind of a bit glittery. It's really textured, but it's really pretty wallpaper. So I've just put 2 little offcuts as pockets, and I'll find something to pop into the pockets. So that's it. So you haven't missed much. Now let's do the cover and then it's finished. Well, I'll have one video where I'll do a final flip through before I stick it into my Etsy shop. Now I've got some burlap. This is calico. This was from a calico bag, kind of like a library bag or something. Some old curtain lace, and you can tell what this is still, actually. This was one of my grandkids' little singlets. It was white, cotton singlet. It was white. I've just coffee dyed it. I've cut the thick seam around the edges. But it turns out really nice. So I've got some of that. What else? I've got the original coffee dyed fabric there. I probably won't use that. Okay, let's get started. Now I do have to glue this picture first. This was out of an encyclopedia, I think, and this is quite a well-known painting. I can't remember by who or any of the details, but actually, funny enough, I found the other day in a different set of encyclopedias a little black and white one of that. Yeah, I can't read who painted it, but anyway. Okay, let's glue this baby on first. Now, what I'm thinking is I've got this is coffee dyed cardboard. I'm going to glue this onto here. This will go on the front with some fabric layered underneath. And then I'll I'll sew it all before I glue it onto the cover. That's the plan. It may change by the time I glue this down. We'll see. Now, I don't think I actually need much fabric because this picture is quite big, so it takes up actually a lot of the cover. Okay. Now, I'm not too fussed about it being centered on the cardboard. I know it's a bit wonky because I'm going to have some fabric around it, kind of hiding it anyway. I just wanted to glue the picture onto some cardboard so it's not so flimsy and tears. I'll also give this a quick varnish before I put this onto the cover. I'll use a matte varnish just to take the gloss off the picture and just seal it. Because, you know, it's just a page out of an encyclopedia, so I don't want it to rip up. It'll just keep it a bit more safe and secure, so it doesn't get damaged. Okay, there's my picture. Now, okay, now what do I want to do? There's probably not a lot of room to put a lot of fabric hanging out. Like, we'll see. I was thinking maybe some burlap. Calico. Then the lace. Now, this is usually, you know how I tend to stuff about a lot. The cover is where I usually stuff around the most. I don't know why, I just can't get it done. I'm thinking of maybe messily stitching this on. Overlapping. I don't know. Don't want it neat. Kind of want it all flippy floppy messy everywhere. Okay, let's do it. Now Now, I know this journal has taken forever. I've actually made a couple of other journals in the meantime while I was off. So those journals I'll just do flip throughs. Okay. Let's get this on. Okay. Cut it about there. And about there. This was actually from a big coffee sack that I picked up at Reverse Garbage a while back. Okay. Now, of course, all these little scraps and threads you'll keep. Of course. You'll also see some little bits of fabric that I've added in to the journal. You'll see that when I do a final flip through. I was going to film it, but I didn't want to wait until I'm back editing because, I mean, it would be too long. I just worked on it off camera. I didn't do too much to it inside. It's been so long you've probably forgotten what it looks like inside now. This is too big. What was I doing when I measured that? Well, I didn't measure, did I? Okay. Oh, Oh, this is so hard to tear. You can cut it and fray it, but it doesn't look as good as when you tear it. Actually, these little bags, they were kind of like little travel bags or something that were given out at a museum or something. One of my sister's neighbours ages ago, a couple of years ago, actually 5 years ago, gave them to her to give to me because she knew I crafted. I feel there's not enough calico, not enough of the Hessian sack showing through. Okay, then we'll put some lace. This I kind of want cut a bit wonky. Okay, so this, when I glue it, it'll be a bit messy. It's not going to be so square. And this, yeah, my little grandkids just got back from the shops with Darren, so I'm sure they'll be running in any moment, bombing my video. Okay, and then this is going to go on somewhat messy. But I will be covering the edges a bit, I think. I'm going to cover that. Okay, I'm going to just off camera cut this down and glue it and sew it because it's kind of hard to do without being right over top. I need to bring it forward a bit and then I'll be right back. Okay, I've finished sewing. I've given it a quick spray of varnish, and if you're interested, this is the varnish I use. It's Helmar's. It's a matte varnish. It's made in Australia, so I'm not sure if you've got it overseas. And I just give it 2 coats. Quick spray, let it dry, and then another quick spray. Okay, now what I've done, I put down some thick paper first and glued the burlap onto that. And then I just put some like glue in the middle and put the picture down, and that way I could muck around putting my layers. So some I've got, you know, I started with the burlap and then I put the calico, and then here and there I've tucked some lace underneath, poked it in. This lace was going to be kind of top layer under the picture, but then at the end I decided no, and so I've just glued strips down the sides to peek out wherever I wanted it to. And the little coffee dyed Green Kitties singlet, I ended up just snipping it into one long strip, like I cut around and around and around, kind of like you'd peel an orange, and just twisted it kind of over top with one thin strip down this side. I didn't want it to be too much. Anyway, then I glue that as I go, or just tack it down with glue, and then I sew it all at the end. And tacking it down with glue just makes it easier, you know, to hold everything in place until you sew it. And I've done a messy straight stitch twice around the edge. I was thinking of doing a third time because I kind of want it to be noticeable, the sewing, the messy sewing, but I didn't want to tack down too many of the little bits that are, you know, loose and sticking up. So anyway, I've left it like that. Now I will just glue the whole thing to my cover. Putting some thick paper down as well as your first layer, it just gives it a bit of sturdiness as well, because, you know, every time you move stuff around, your paper, you know, your fabric will be flip-flopping everywhere. So, but whatever you find easy. I mean, you may find it easier just to glue the stuff straight to your cover. I've just done it separately so that I can sew it. Okay, and let's put that down. About there. Now, a lot of times when I make a journal, I actually have the cover completely finished, except for the insides, before I even start the signatures. Sometimes I don't. I don't have a set process. But I do like to have a cover half made at least before I do the signatures, just so I know if it's getting too fat and full. Although this one did get a bit fat. Okay. Have I got it straight? Probably not. Think that's down. Now I will just let that dry. Then I'm going to add the ephemera back in, and I'll be back in the next video to do a final flip through, because there's some stuff I added since you last saw it. And that's it. Thanks for your patience and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.